Hi, for this video what we're going to do is we're going to solve logarithmic equations. When you have a logarithmic equation that has logarithm only on one side, what you have to do is you have to first condense it down to a single logarithm. So you're going to use rules of logarithms in order to help you condense this down or make it as a single logarithm on the left-hand side. So what we're going to do, because of the fact that it's log x plus 48 equals 2, to write it as a single logarithm, we would multiply the two things together. So I would do x times x plus 48. And I did put double parentheses just so that we know that this whole thing is in the logarithm. Once you get down to a single logarithm, what you're going to do is rewrite it in exponential form. Because of the fact that I don't have logarithms on both sides, I have to rewrite in exponential form. So with this one, remember that anytime you have log without a base, it's understood to be base 10. So this is our base, this is our exponent, so we would have 10 squared equals, and this would be the value that's inside of here. I'm going to go ahead and distribute that in just so that we have it already distributed. So I now have a quadratic equation, x squared plus 48x equals 10 squared or equals 100. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this value, I'm skipping a couple steps, which I probably shouldn't do, but I'm going to go ahead and bring this value to the other side. And I'm going to go ahead and simplify it. So 10 squared is 100. So if I take 100 to the other side, it would become minus 100. So with this one, because now we have a quadratic, remember that you can always use the quadratic equation. So if you wanted to at this point, you could plug it into quadratic equations. Anytime there's a 1 in front of x squared, I look to see if I can factor it. So for this one, what we're going to do is we're going to look for two numbers that multiply together to give me negative 100 that also add up to be 48. Okay, and this one is easy because of the fact that if I take 50 times negative 2, that would give me negative 100. And 50 plus negative 2 would give me 48. So this would simplify into x plus 50 times x minus 2 equals 0. So just to check to make sure it works out, x times x gives me the x squared. This would give me my negative 2x plus 50, which gives me my 48 in the middle. And then minus 100 comes from 50 times negative 2. So we did factor it correctly. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to see that x equals negative 50 or x equals positive 2. It's very, very important that you check these when you do simplify this to make sure that it works. Because with logarithms, the value right here can never be negative. So if I plug this back in, I would have log negative 50 plus log negative 50 plus 48. And so since both of these are negative values right here, this is undefined. So because this is negative, this is undefined, it is not allowed. If I typed into my calculator log negative 50, it doesn't work. This value right here always has to be positive. So this is known as an extraneous root. We know that that one does not work because when I plug it back in, it gives me a negative value. So what I want to do now is I want to check the other one to make sure it does work. So we have x equals 2, so I have log 2 plus log, and if I just go ahead and add those together, 2 plus 48 gives me 50 equals 2. So if I simplify this, remember it doesn't look like it makes much sense, but it really does. With this, because it's plus, I could rewrite this as log 2 times 50, which is log 100. And so then if I check, remember that this is base 10, I'm asking myself, is 10 squared equal to 100? And it is, so we know that this answer works. Like I said, it is always important to check logarithmic equations when you, after you get the solution, because if you end up with either 0 or a negative value right here, it is undefined. It does not work. Logarithms, this value right here has to be positive. The only thing that can be negative is the exponent. As always, thanks for watching. If you have any questions or need other topics covered, please let me know.